Now, I've always loved basketball, both watching and playing. But for a few reasons, going professional just wasn't in my future. For one, I'm just really not that good. But also, I'm only 5'9", and that makes me about average height. I'm not short, but I'm no Victor Wembanyama here either. So obviously height is important to make it to the big league.
Duh.
But how much of an advantage is height actually? A while back I heard a stat that if you're American and over 7 feet tall, without knowing any other information, that means there's a 17% chance that you're in the NBA right now. I mean, that on its face is ridiculous. If all I know about someone is that they're 7 feet tall and I know nothing else about them, I don't even know if they play basketball or not, I can still assume with 17% confidence that they're gonna be in the NBA. That's almost a 1 in 6 chance just based on height. Now obviously there's more to it than that. There are some medical conditions that result in abnormal height, and along with abnormal height come a host of other symptoms that are gonna make it hard for that individual to succeed in basketball or really any other athletic endeavor. You're gonna need athleticism and the skill to actually play the sport. But at least in the US, anyone who's tall, all they're asked growing up is, hey, do you play basketball? Hey, you're tall, you must be awesome at basketball. Tall kids and tall people are just pushed and urged to play the sport. I mean, I wouldn't know, I'm 5'9", remember? But in the end, taller than average people tend to migrate to playing basketball. And success breeds success, meaning those who are successful early on stay with the sport, continue to practice, continue to get better. So back to that 17%, but wait, this isn't the 90s anymore. We don't have to just accept facts at face value. We have Google, we have the internet, we can check and do some analysis. According to the Centers for Disease Control, the median height for an American male is 5'9". Remember me, 5'9"? I'm average. What that means is 50% of all American males are above 5'9", and the other 50% are below 5'9". The standard deviation for this height is 3 inches. And what that means is that 68% of US males are gonna be within 1 standard deviation of the mean and median. So in this case, with 5'9" as that median, which is also close to the mean, you'll have 68% of Americans be between 3 inches shorter, which is 5'6", and 3 inches longer, which is 6 feet. Now if you go to 2 standard deviations, that gets you to 95% of all American males. So let's do that. 2 standard deviations from 5'9", we got 5'3" on one side, and then we have 6'3" on another. Now if we go to 3 standard deviations, we can capture 99.7% of all American males in this range. And so from 5'9", if we go 3 standard deviations down, that's 5 feet. And if we go 3 standard deviations up, that's 6'6". That's only 0.3% left, and we're only at 6'6". We're not even at 7 feet yet, we're half a foot away. 7-footers are really, really tall. But remember, that 0.3% includes both those that are below 5 feet and those that are over 6'6", which means if you really want to look at those who are over 6'6", that's half of that, or 0.15%. So 0.15% of all American males are over the height of 6'6". Oh yeah, and 6'6", that's the average or median height of an NBA player. So according to the 2022 census, there were about 335 million Americans. Now if we look between the range of 20 and 40 and male, we get around 48.5 million. And I'm using the range 20 to 40 because that roughly represents the age of players in the NBA. On the lower end, you have players that are about 18, maybe 19 with 1 year of experience post high school. On the upper range, the oldest player in the NBA today is LeBron James with 39. There are about 48.5 million American males between the age of 20 and 40. 0.15% of that is around 73,000. If we continue down the distribution, we can estimate that there are around 85 to 150 Americans that fall over 7 feet tall. Now we have our denominator, the range of between 85 to 150. Now let's turn our attention to the NBA. How many folks in the NBA today are over 7 feet tall? I did a little bit of research and I came across 29 players in the NBA today active who are at 7 feet or above. So if we take 29 and divide by that range of 85 to 150, We get that about 19 to 34% of 7-footers are in the NBA. But let's pressure test that a little bit. You could come to me and say, hey, you know what? A good portion of those 29 players that you identified in the NBA are probably not American. They're coming from other countries around the world. As I mentioned earlier, Victor Wembanyama, one of the tallest players in the NBA today, he's French. So you might tell me that, hey, those non-Americans that you're including in the 29, they're not in your denominator. They're in some other country's representation of folks who are over 7 feet. And to that, I would say, you are so annoying. But fair, I like your point. So let's exclude them. When I go through the list, I find around 14 players that are international. Want to get more ruthless? 3 of those players are actually dual citizens with the US and another country. Let's take those out too. Now our numerator is 12. 12 divided by a range of 85 to 150 gives us a range of 8 to 14%. Based on all this, that 17% claim we made earlier, it does seem to hold some weight. Where if I see someone who's a 7-footer out in the wild, there's a 1 in 6 chance that they're actually in the NBA. So yeah, it helps to be 7 feet.
Duh.
It's gonna help you get to the NBA, but it's gonna really suck to be on an airplane and fit into one of those seats. So this was just a quick take, something fun to get a sense for how much of an advantage is height in the NBA. I took some shortcuts, made some assumptions. Some of those may not be true. So if you have a different opinion or you think something I did was incorrect, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you.